Welcome to the seated spinal series. You'll notice I'm sitting on the ground, cross-legged. I'm doing that so I can easily turn my body and show you the front and side view of my spine as I show you these motions. I encourage you to sit in a chair and do them in a chair with your feet flat on the ground unless you are already practiced and comfortable sitting cross-legged on the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to do three different motions, three sets of motions that are going to help condition the spine in relationship to the brain so that your brain is having the greatest level of control possible over the motion of your spine. And the motion of your spine is fueling the brain with positive stimulation. And we're freeing up tension and restriction in the spine itself. Again, when your brain can perceive the spine most clearly, it's able to do more to keep you healthy. And the healthier your spine is, the more it feeds your brain positive information so that your brain can stay healthy. If you've already done the standing exercises, I encourage doing these together in a day for a warm-up or as the main exercise. I'll say it again, if you don't exercise at all, make this your movement. If you do exercise but you're in discomfort or pain a lot of the time, these can be a great way to warm yourself up and help discover how to move your spine in a way that doesn't put you in a position of pain. And even if you do exercise a lot and you're very healthy, these exercises will deepen your awareness of your own spinal mechanics, and it will accelerate your results in the office. So, first things first, we're just going to start with forward to backward rocking of the spine, and I'm starting with just my pelvis. You'll notice that the shirt material around my belly is moving because the only thing that's moving is my low back and my pelvis. Above my diaphragm, there's no motion. Everything's staying still. I'm going to show you this sideways. So what I'm doing is I'm just introducing a little bit of motion into the base of my spine, rocking my pelvis back and forth. Now this should be comfortable, it should even feel good, and you should take it slow because you're not trying to go further, faster, harder, or stronger. You're trying to become familiar and more in tune with the subtle motions of the spine and pelvis. Now, in a single day, or even a week or more, that may be all you move is just this lower area of your spine. There's no race to get any further. There's no race to get any more out of this. Specificity is the name of the game. It's the key here because it's the specificity of our attention that's going to create these worthwhile changes. Once we feel comfortable with that lower part of the spine, or otherwise you can think of it in terms of if you're not able to feel much, if it's hard to feel what's going on, you can start to add more motion and you can bring into the mix the ribs and chest and upper back area or mid-back area. So what that looks like here is from just using the pelvis and the low back, I might start to let my mid to upper back start to move as well. And then my chest comes forward as well as my belly. And my upper back goes back as well as my lower back. And so you should see that there's somewhat of an undulation motion from the base of my spine upward. But my head is not really moving all that much, only in compensation for what the rest of my spine is doing. Right? Again, most of the work that you're doing could just stay right here. It's not a race to get farther, faster, or stronger. It's to see if you can slow down enough to feel the subtle motions in your body. So I'm going to rewind and show you in a single day when I'm doing these exercises, I might go so subtly that I'm literally just rocking the bottom bones of my spine as gently as possible just to see if I can get a more comfortable motion or more even motion, or if I'm feeling out of touch with my body and I'm not really feeling much at all, I might just see if I can do this until I can find some sensation, until I can start to identify the different areas of my spine. And then again, you might want to take it a little bit bigger, a little bit more full spine. From here, if you want to start moving your neck, which I do encourage, I want you to do it even more slowly. And we're going to be careful not to drop our head back like this. It should not strain your voice as it is for me now. The neck should stay tall and long, and your air pipe should stay wide open. So it's going to look like this. So as you're flexing your spine, or you're extending your spine, you look upward and lift your chin, but keep the back of your neck long as well. And then when you flex your spine forward, you can bring the head down. Neck stays long. Neck stays long. I'm not collapsing my chin down all the way either. I'm not going down like this. I'm keeping it so that my throat is open and my neck feels long and strong. Because I'm not trying to stretch my spine. I'm trying to feel into, become familiar with, and free up new areas of motion in my spine. And doing this regularly is going to feed the brain some super valuable information about the body. So the brain can then take new action to keep the body feeling free and functioning well. Okay, next one is a circular motion. So I'm going to be moving my pelvis in a bowl-like motion like this. So if I had a bowl in my pelvis, which is kind of the shape of the pelvis, I would be rocking that bowl in this direction, right? And another way you can think about it is thinking of guiding with your belly button. The belly button comes forward to the side, back to the side, forward to the side, back to the side. And so I'm doing these rocking motions in my pelvis. Again, you're going to be seated in a chair, feet on the floor, hands on your knees in front of you. That would be a great position to do this in. You can also put your hands on your waist or your hips, but you can easily put your hands on your knees and help guide that circular motion with the pressure you can put on your knees with your hands. And so in this one, again, I can go as subtly as I can to try to just get circular motion in my pelvis and low back. Or I could start to open up more of that motion into my whole body. And again, look, my head is not falling off my shoulders. I'm not rolling my head around. I'm keeping my neck nice and stable. Usually the neck is lacking stability, and the rest of the spine is lacking motion. So I'm going to keep my head fairly still. And if I want to get into the upper part of the chest and the ribs and the upper back, then I'll actually start to move my shoulder blades a little bit too, to allow for more movement into that upper part of the chest. Okay? If that's confusing for you, ignore it. Don't try that unless it's easy and comfortable. So here I am swirling around. So first just small circles of the pelvis, and then I can increase that to get the whole spine all the way to the shoulders. And of course, you'll go the other direction. Now, if you are doing legs crossed on the ground, if that's comfortable to you, I do encourage you switch the direction of your legs when you switch the direction of your hips. If you're sitting in a chair, obviously it doesn't make a difference because your legs should be parallel. Last thing, so we have three things. We have the forward, the backward motion, we have the swirling motion, and then we're going to have an opening up of the chest and a stretching of the upper back motion. So here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to take my arms, my more or less shoulders and elbows at 90 degrees. They don't have to be straight up in the air. They can be down a little bit. But I'm going to squeeze together my arms in front of me, and then I'm going to open them up to the sides. Squeeze together, open them up. And then what my spine's doing is the same motion as that front to back motion. I'm tucking my pelvis, and I'm bringing my pelvis forward. I'm pushing my low back to the back of the room, and I'm arching my low back. I'm letting my chest cave in and the back of my upper spine round out. And then I'm extending my upper back. And the same thing with the head. I want you to keep the neck long and lift the chin, but keep the neck nice and open. It should not compromise your breathing. It should not compromise your ability to speak. So here I am, closing it down, opening it up. And now we're getting a full motion of the entire spine, including the upper back and the ribs through the motion of the shoulder blades. Now, all of those exercises you can time with your breath. I actually encourage it. I'm not going to try to teach that. I want you to feel comfortable with the movements first, and then let the breath fall into place. So just to give you an idea, typically when I roll the pelvis forward, I take a breath in, and when I roll the pelvis backward, I take a breath out. Sometimes I do it the opposite way. There's reasons for both. Just focus on the movements and let the breath fall into place naturally. Go get it.